Tips on the grip. Okay, take the club in your right hand. Make sure the club face is square. That's the bottom line in line with the shaft. Get that club face square. That's very important when you're taking the grip. First thing we do is put it on our left hand and roll your hand over with your thumb slightly to the right of centre, and the V formed between your thumb and first finger goes between your chin and right shoulder. When you grip, don't grip too far, have your hands too far away. Just make sure that your hands are nice and close. It's much easier to grab hold of the club. If it's too heavy, just grab it in your right hand like so. Okay, now we've been successful with our left hand grip. What I recommend is put the club in the base of your fingers. One finger, as you can see there, overlaps onto the other hand to bring the hands closer together, and just grip with the fingers. Don't have it in the palm of your hand and don't have it in the tips of your fingers. Particularly in the palm of your hand, it'll roll around. Make sure that it's in the base of your fingers. Roll your hand over, separate your bottom finger, that's your trigger finger. Make sure that that's separated, and that's your overlapping finger on your left hand. However, I've also developed a grip that I use on many of my shots now, which is the two-finger grip, which is two fingers on top of the other hand and only two fingers on the club with the right hand. I've found that this actually helps my left hand and gives me more strength in the left hand hitting through. Now, the most important thing is to have a relaxed grip. If you're tense, you'll never be able to swing the club. Make sure your grip's nice and relaxed to be able to swing the club. It's very important also throughout your swing that your pads of your hands don't come away. Don't let the pad of your left hand come away from the club, and don't let the pad of your right hand come away from the club. That would mean that you're using one hand more than the other, or you're separating your arms too much. So make sure those pads stay on the club. You know, your grip's the only thing that really is holding on to the club, and it's very important to get the correct grip. Without the correct grip, you've got very little chance of being a good player. All good players have a good grip. So go out there and perfect the grip. That's very important. Right, these are my tips on the setup. Well, first of all, you have to know how to aim. So I've got these clubs down to help us. I've come behind the ball, and I'm going to be heading off in that direction towards the clubhouse. I've got this pointing and that is the target line there, pointing in the direction of the clubhouse. So there's the target line. You come from behind the ball, pick out something in front that's on line, and aim your club face. Get your club face and a direct line to the target line. So club face first, then aim your shaft straight, and then put your feet in position. Go through that again, come behind, get your line, aim your club face to the target, have your shaft straight, then your body, parallel to the target line. So this is your body line, feet, knees, hips and shoulders, parallel to the target line. So club face first, shaft, ball position, and get that parallel line there with the body. Okay, you can see with my feet here, they're about shoulder width apart. Don't get too wide. It's very difficult to get your hips around on the follow through if you're too wide. Make sure that you're also not too narrow. Just get that correct width with the shoulder width apart. It's important also to, at your address position, to actually just push your hips a little bit towards the target, which straightens your left side a little bit and drops your right side. So just push your hips a little bit this way, not too much. Make sure that you keep your weight even on your feet. When you do this, don't push your weight onto the left side. You don't want your weight on your right side, and you don't want to push your weight onto the left side. Just make sure you push your hips a little bit to the left to keep that left side nice and straight when we're going to hit. So here we are, club face behind the ball, feet the correct distance apart, ball position correct. Just push the left hip a little bit towards the target, like so, with keeping that left side nice and straight. Okay, I'm going to show you now how to get the correct posture. Posture is very important with the swing. Bottom in, shoulders back. Push your bottom back. You notice when you do that, your knees tend to straighten. Pop your knees. You don't want your knees too bent. Just have them popped. Make sure that your shoulders don't go forward of your toes. Just have your shoulders, you can see there's a line down just over your toes. That's your shoulder position. And you put a club here for your bottom, which is just push back. And your knees should be just over the middle of your feet there. See, knees over the middle of the feet, shoulders over your toes, and bottom out. With a good posture and a good setup, I think it's 80% of the swing. Now, these are my tips on practicing the correct backswing. Throw the club down and let's just do a body pivot for a start. Okay, get your correct posture and get in position and push your right shoulder back and up. Notice the right shoulder backing up, the left shoulder coming towards your chin. So right shoulder backing up, left shoulder towards your chin. Keep your weight even on your feet. Notice how the left side still stays reasonably straight, even though the left shoulder has come under the chin. The left side is still reasonably straight. Don't buckle the left side. Right, now I'm going to show you how the right arm works. So I'll put my left behind my back and we'll take it away with the right shoulder backing up, and watch how the right arm moves with the body. Okay, you don't move your arm by itself, pulling away from your body, it moves with your body. Okay, backing up to the top of your right shoulder. So moves with your body, see that? You don't move it independently on its own. Once we've taken our setup, we take the club away, right shoulder backing up, shaft pointing to the line of our swing. 1/3 back, make sure that the shaft's still pointing to the body and the thumb is on top, the club face slightly closed. 2/3 back, the shaft will extend to the ball, top of our backswing above our right shoulder. 80-degree shoulder turn. We want our weight even on our feet, not on the heels, not on our heels, not on our toes, even on the balls of your feet, and make sure that left side is reasonably straight. There's the top of our backswing position. It's really important to get this backswing consistent and in the right position to have a good hit at the ball. If you're in balance and you're in the right position and on the right swing plane, it's far easier to hit straight shots. Right, now let's have a real good look at the downswing and the follow through. I'll throw my club down and I'll just use my body, do a body pivot first. So as we learnt last time, we've done the pivot on the backswing, and now we're coming down to hit the ball. Use your feet, roll your feet into position, roll them forward. Okay, your knees will go as well. Make sure you use your feet and knees to hit the ball. So come through to here. Don't use your hips, don't slide your hips from side to side, just your knees and feet, and you're in that hitting position. Come through the shot, making sure that when you come through, the right heel comes off the ground, the right knee comes close to the left knee. Make sure that your head is behind your hips on the finish of your follow through, and you're bending slightly forward. So there's a good follow through position. So here we are now with a club, and I'll start from the top of the backswing position and show you how it works with the club. So we're back up here in the top of our backswing position. Now we start with our feet, so our feet are moving towards the target and our knees are moving towards the target. Okay, notice also how the arms swing faster than the body. So we're up here, arms are swinging faster than the body and the knees and feet are moving. So when you're on the downswing, you must move the arms, especially the left arm, and the feet. I would say that that's what starts the downswing. Left arm and feet. Here we go. Left arm and feet. Make sure that that is the movement you get. Through the impact position, head's behind the ball, weight's even on your feet, and the left thumb's directly on top of the club with a flat left wrist. Hands are slightly forward at impact. So, here we go. Feet, left arm, impact, head behind the ball, thumb on top, weight even, hand slightly forward with a flat wrist. There's our impact position. Through impact, through a straight line, the club is in basically a neutral position, not with the left, not with the right, neutral position, through to the finish. What we were saying, knee close to the left knee, hips forward of your head, and in a balanced position. You must finish in a balanced position. That's the good follow through. Okay, I'll quickly go back over the downswing and follow through here. So I'm up here, top of a backswing in the backswing position. From here, we want to move from the feet and the knees, and also we want the arm moving independent of the shoulders. So we're back up here, feet and knees and the arms moving independent of the shoulders. That'll keep you on plane. If you start the swing with your shoulders, you're going to be off plane. So here we go, impact position as well, straight left thumb on top, flat wrist, come through the target line and finish your swing. Basically, that's the solid downswing and follow through and should give you good results. So now I'd like to give my tips on some of golf swings terminologies. I'll start with the one-piece takeaway. Now the one-piece takeaway means that as you take the club back, the arms, the shaft and the body move as one. That's a one-piece takeaway. This would be wrong, just moving your hands and arms. So one-piece takeaway is all together. That's a one-piece takeaway. You can practice this by putting the shaft into your tummy and swinging back. That's a one-piece takeaway. Now we talk about swing plane. What is a swing plane? Well, Ben Hogan's theory of a swing plane was he imagined a sheet of glass through his shoulders to the ball, something like that. So as we swing back in the one-piece action, we get back. Now we're on plane. We're on plane. That's the swing plane. We try to go up to the top of our swing and we try to come down on a similar plane to the ball, through straight. So the swing plane, imagine that glass through your shoulders to the ball. Let's have a look at the terms wrist cock and wrist bend. Okay, that's a wrist cock. That's a wrist bend. Okay, throughout the swing we don't want too much bend. We do have a little bit of wrist cock, but not very much. That's a full wrist cock. Any more than that and the club comes out of your hand. So make sure that that's a full wrist cock. Okay, the club starts cocking virtually by itself when it wants to come back. So there's no wrist cock until the club finally wants to come back and swing on its arc. So it's a natural thing, just let it cock. There's a wrist cock. Now look, let's have a look at the phrase extension, extension in your swing. When you swing back, the extension in your swing is with your right elbow coming away from your body, and when you swing through, the extension is the left elbow coming away from your body. That's the extension in your swing. That enables you to swing on a straight line. If you swing back keeping the right elbow in here, you'll be too flat, and if you swing through keeping the left elbow in here, you'll be too flat. It won't allow you to swing that club along that straight line that we're trying to do. Well, if anyone says to you, you're swaying, what does that mean? Or should you be transferring your weight? Well, if I could just explain what should happen on the backswing first. On the backswing, your left side should be pretty straight, and it's important to keep it fairly straight. So as you turn back, your left side stays fairly straight. See that? Straight. A sway would be to try and transfer your weight. That would be a sway. Either your hips, which would be no good, or your head would be no good. So just keep your hips and head reasonably still and turn and extend. And there's the swing. One of the most used phrases in golf is you hear golfers say, keep your head down, look at the ball. Well, I don't think those things are necessarily going to help you swing. For one thing, if you keep your head down, no posture. You've got no posture, you can't swing. So that's a no-no. Looking at the ball, ball's very small. I know in moving sports when the ball's moving, look at it. Tennis, squash, anything like that. But in golf, don't focus too hard on the ball. I'm not saying look somewhere else. Remember, you've got about an 18-inch straight line you're trying to swing along, not a small sphere. So don't worry so much about looking at the ball. Well, have you ever heard the phrase, you're swinging too fast, slow down? Well, I agree with that to a certain extent, but what should slow down and what should speed up? If you want to hit the ball a long way, you've got to swing fairly fast. So I'll have a hit here. And you'll notice that my body action wasn't that quick, but my shaft and my arms were very fast. Well, finally we hear about being in the zone. What does being in the zone in golf mean? Well, to me, it's having a relaxed, quiet mind. Just don't get hassled. Have a look at your shot, get a clear, realistic vision of your shot. Hit the shot with no fear of failure. Execute the shot and relax. So hopefully that's cleared up some of golf's most used phrases. Now I'd like to run through some drills that I give to my students to help them with their game. The first one is the 3 tees drill. As you can see on the ground here, I have 3 tees in a straight line, around about 6 or 8 inches apart, and the middle tee will be the ball. So I'll just show you this drill. Just put your club above the middle tee as if you're going to hit the ball, swing back across the top of the other tee and just hit the 3 tees. Now that's really a golf swing, low on a straight line. To carry on from the 3 tees drill, there's also the balance drill, and what we do there is put our club behind the middle tee and put our feet together, and with our feet together, obviously if we move our head from side to side or if we move our hips, we'll feel our balance go. So it's an old-fashioned drill, but hitting balls with your feet together. Notice also it's easy to get the extension because you're not shifting. It's easier to get the extension this way because you're not shifting. So the balance drill is basically feet together and then be in balance. Carrying on from the balance drill is the extension drill. So to do the extension drill, just stand to the ball as you normally would, get comfortable, then pull your hands into your body, like so. Okay. You might think I can't swing from there, but you can. So bring it in. What that'll do is as you're turning one piece, it'll make you extend away, which is a push action, which is really what we want in the swing. So there's your extension. You're pushing away. I'll show you that and I'll hit a ball. Pull her in, push her out, and push her through. Okay, another great drill that I use is the impact bag, and that's fantastic because if you're not right at impact, you're in trouble. Impacting the ball correctly is very important. So with the impact bag, we put a shaft on the ground. That would be our normal ball position where that shaft is. So that's our impact with the ball. So this is the start of the ball here. So here we go. Now it's very important at impact for your head behind the ball to be in balance and for a straight line up the shaft and left arm. See the flat left wrist and the square club face. Right, now let's talk about divot shots. Okay, divots. Why do we want to take a divot? Okay, remember when you take a divot you're imparting spin on the ball. So I recommend you take divots with short irons to get backspin, and of course you need to take a divot when you've got a bad lie or you're in the rough to hit under the ball. Remember when you take your divot, make sure that you're hitting just before the ball or hitting the ball and the ground at the same time. Your divot should be after the ball. I'll hit a shot and demonstrate. Play the ball slightly further back than normal, just forward of centre's about right, and hands slightly further forward. Now as you can see there, the divot's starting where the ball was. You'll notice with the short iron that there's more bend, so normally with the longer clubs your shoulders are over your toes. There's a little more bend here, we're a little bit more forward, and the hands are a little bit lower so that you can get your hands to take the divot. So a slightly different setup requires a divot shot. A little more bend and the hands a little bit lower so you can get more hands to hit the club head into the ground. You'll notice when you swing back, it's a much steeper shoulder turn, which makes the swing much more up and down, whereas normally it's a little bit flatter turn. So just bend forward a little bit more, hands a little bit lower, up and through. So now when we're in the rough and have to take a divot, I'll give you my advice here for this lie. If you've got the short iron, just play it pretty much how you played out of the fairway. But if you've got a long way to go and you need more club, like you need to hit a 5 iron, 4 iron, even a 5 wood, my advice is this. Open the face slightly. Remember you're hitting down. Allow for fade, allow for fade. So aim slightly to the left of your target. Keep your weight a little on the left side because we don't want to hit behind the ball. So keep your weight a little bit on the left side. As you come through the ball and you're pulling through the ball, your weight will come back to the centre. So weight on the left side, hands slightly forward, slightly open club face, hit down on the ball and get your weight back to the centre. That way you can dig under the ball, fade the ball back to the target out of the rough. Remember, it's not always necessary to take a divot. Most times, just sweep the ball. So continuing on with the previous drills, I'd like to now demonstrate my tennis drill. Now I think tennis and golf have a lot in common. So watch me swing right-handed and with the right hand, and basically as I go back everything moves as one, same as tennis, together, together, back together, through together. We're not just using our arm, we're not just using our body, we're extending back together and through together. As you can see from here, from side on, it's very important that the toe points up, the toe of the club points up, so you're not twisting your wrist. So just back together and through together. Make sure when you go back you don't pull on this shoulder. That would be just using your arm to swing back. So here we go. Make sure that shoulder's still pointed in, not pulled back. So when we go back we're not doing this, we're doing this. So back together, through together. That's the right hand. And remember in a backhand in tennis, I don't know if you can remember, but I used to play a lot of tennis when I was young. We always just moved the arm. So our backhand in golf, move the arm. If we move the body, we'll come across the shot, we'll pull it or slice it. So remember, move the arm. You can quite easily hit balls just with your arm. So now I'm going to demonstrate a drill that I call the windmill drill. And you watch. The windmill drill. Okay, the windmill drill is a drill to make sure that your arms are travelling faster than your body. If your body's travelling faster, you won't be able to do the windmill. So the windmill is back, through and circling. Back, through and circling. And I can actually hit the ball virtually the same distance, maybe about 10 metres less with the windmill drill. And it's a great drill for learning to square the club face up and also learning to swing the arms with speed. Now let's have a look at my baseball drill. Okay, the baseball drill, how do we do that? Take a nice comfortable position behind the ball, come up like we're going to hit a baseball. You'll notice what we do is we certainly push our left side reasonably straight, our arms are nice and level, not this way, and we stay behind the ball. So you can hit balls doing the baseball drill. Not bad. Right, now I'm going to show you my boxer's drill. So as you can see here, I've got a straight line from a target, a box out here and a box in here. If I obviously hit this box, I'm too much on the inside and probably push the ball to the right. If I come down and hit this box, I'm going to probably hit the ball to the left and pull the ball. So it's important to actually swing down on a reasonably straight line. So here we go. Get nice and comfy with your position, straight back and straight through. These drills are an excellent way for you to practice and perfect your golf swing. Very similar to the bunker shot as the lob shot. Pretty much the same action. Aim a little bit to the left, play the ball forward. Make sure that the shaft is back, not forward. You don't hit this with your hands forward. We're trying to lob the ball in the air. Get your spine angle slightly to the left with your weight to the left, and as you hit, come back on the shot. So here we go. Oh, great shot. That was a good shot.